Do 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 do. Welcome to the Granite Mountain Movie Club, where there's mountains and movies, and everybody's having fun.
That's right. Welcome to the Granite Mountain Movie Club, where we talk about movies and entertainment from a based perspective. Everyone in this show is based and really cool. So please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Don't use any slurs or anything. Just leave a nice comment. Do a thumbs up.
And if you listen to the whole episode, we'll have a special hashtag for you to add in the comments that only you will know.
Yeah, and that's on you to remember what that special had to give the audience that special hashtag.
Yeah, we'll do it. Don't worry.
Yeah. So you have no excuse. If you found this show randomly, I've now told you what's happening. So turn back now if you're not based. Is it still based to be based?
No, I think it's been taken over by like Andrew Tate.
We're not supposed to be based anymore.
No, like that just means you're trafficking webcam girls.
What are we supposed to be now?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're just supposed to.
We're gonna come up with that tonight.
We're just supposed to trust the plan until the next thing comes.
Yeah, there will be a new cool meme that we should all take part in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we got Cool Frasier here. He's almost always here, which is good.
And I'm almost always cool.
Yeah.
But I'm always listening.
He's always cool. He's always listening. We got Giordano here, the Mambo Wizard himself.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi,
Mambo
Giordano.
Wizard, buy it. Amazon. Take part in the Mambo verse, and actually kind of, and I was kind of saying, what's kind of naturally, organically happening is, this is actually, no, I was going to make a joke, but it's too stupid.
Is taking the Mambo pill the new based?
Yeah, I was going to say Mambo pilled or a Mambo head, part of the Mambo verse. Yeah, it's the new based.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's too dumb.
Yeah, well, I'll try to remember to put a link to Giordano's book in the description. Go buy his book. It's called The Mambo Wizard. Breakfast
Especially
is served.
If you like hairless pink cats that are anthropomorphized to be space pirates, it's the place to be.
Yeah. There's also large frogs. Large frog-like men.
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Well, that's obvious. But it's actually a really long book, so you can take your time.
Okay, so everyone who isn't based and Mambo pilled has now left, which is good. That's what we don't. We only want like the pure in heart that are still here.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about the upcoming movies of 2023. And we're going to talk about the ones that we're most excited about. We'll get straight into it. If I ask you guys, are you guys prepared with your list of like 5? You have 5 of the ones you're most excited for?
I struggled to make 5.
Ooh,
I did like the list that I looked up a bunch of movies that were coming out, but I don't know if I could legally say that I'm excited for all of them. But
okay, well, Giordano, you go first.
Oh no!
And just say a movie that you're excited for, but not the one you're most excited for.
Just a movie?
Yeah, name a movie.
Oh wow,
that's coming out in 2023.
Okay, here's one. I was excited for a film coming out called 65, starring Kylo Ren or something. I forgot the guy's name. And
yeah, his name's Kylo Ren.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver? That doesn't seem like that's right. But
it's Minnie Driver's little brother.
No, it's not.
No, I don't think it is.
The Driver family is all over Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. And then I saw a preview for this. I went and saw either Avatar or Violent Night in December, and they showed a preview for this movie of him like crash landing on an alien planet.
Mm-hmm.
And looked kind of cool. And then he was going through some dark forest, and like, oh, this is a cool sci-fi looking movie. And then there was like a dinosaur wandering around, and then I was like, oh, I don't know why, but seeing a dinosaur made me not interested anymore. And then I made the huge mistake of about 5 minutes before this podcast of reading the little preview synopsis for 65. Also, the name of the movie is 65, which is not interesting. And after reading the synopsis, I was really disappointed. So I won't spoil it, but I am excited for that. I didn't sell that very well.
I actually wait. You use the words that you're excited, but I can't.
It's not. I'm excited to go watch it because I like any kind of sci-fi movie.
But you're not optimistic at this point?
No, not very much.
But aren't you excited that it's like dinosaurs aren't fully owned by Jurassic Park anymore? Like they're getting more play in other series?
No, that's exactly what I'm not happy about, because I don't like dinosaurs and I don't really want to see them in my movies at all. And they're just like, because I'm not like a 6-year-old boy, so I'm not interested.
You don't like a Stegosaurus?
No, I have years ago I had this T-shirt and it had an Ankylosaurus.
Oh,
is that how you say that?
Yeah.
I know those ones.
I think it might be Ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus.
Uh-huh.
And for years I had this shirt, and I don't know why I had it, because people would always ask me, is that like your favorite dinosaur? And I'm just like, I don't really have a favorite dinosaur, because I'm not like an 8-year-old boy. Why am I wearing this shirt? I don't know.
So if like if a Stegosaurus was here right now, you wouldn't pet it.
I feel that dinosaurs and humans are separate but equal. We can lead separate but equal lives, and I'm fine with that, actually. I actually think about the dinosaurs thing. I don't know. I just have a lot of thoughts about seeing. Like, it reminded me of. I thought it was going to be a movie of Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, like a Nintendo 64 video game.
Yeah, I remember Turok.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucked too. So I don't know. I feel like just Adam Driver and then like cool big special effects sci-fi stuff, it just seems to be wasted on dinosaur movies.
Yeah.
You'd like to see like an Avatar 6-legged dinosaur or something?
There's actually, if there's anything I hate more than dinosaurs, it's like fake dinosaurs, or like ones that are just like reimagined or something.
So like, let's go back to the trailer. He crash lands on a planet. He finds like a little kid who's still living in the ship, and then he walks out into the forest. What do you want him to encounter?
Oh, walking out into the forest on the alien world. That's a great question.
Like, what would have been the payoff for the setup?
Yeah, right. What does he encounter out there? Like maybe just like a bunch of hot babes who like capture him, and they're like, we've never seen a man before. And
yeah, that sounds like a 60s movie or something.
I don't know. I just have either of you read the synopsis for this film?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if I should, because the synopsis I read just
maybe you should spoil it.
It's not a spoiler if it's like their marketing material.
Yeah, that was like their thing, the marketing thing. Well, it says, oh, this is called 65 because it takes place on Earth 65 million years ago.
Oh, well, I knew that.
I knew that too.
Okay. Oh, okay. I just thought it was far more interesting in my head when I was like, oh, there was dinosaurs on other planets. So maybe there was like dinosaurs colonizing other planets, and like no, yeah, it was just Earth. He just went back.
An alien coming to Earth. Yeah.
Oh, is he not? He's not an Earthling.
Or he traveled in time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
even that would have been more interesting. Like an actual Earthling coming, like a humanoid coming to Earth would have been interesting to me. But if it's just a person traveling back in time, that's not interesting. I don't know why. But although I love the Planet of the Apes, the old one.
Yeah, maybe it's not a time travel thing, and it's like a engineers from Aliens / that other movie that Ridley Scott directed.
Yeah, that was actually my first assumption, but
Where he plants his seed. Yeah, Prometheus.
Yes.
So he's coming to plant his seed.
Yes, with the alien babes, and they're going to be like cave women, and dressed up in.
He's going to teach them how to. Oh, what?
I'm cutting off 65 discussion now. 65 was I had it on my list. Like I made a long list, and it's in my top 10. I'm interested in it, but it was not in my top 5.
Yeah.
But Cool Frasier, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is your number 13, which is so. Just a show note for the avid listeners out there. We were told to come up with 5 movies. One of the people in the group came up with 26. But so yeah, mine is your number 13, which is Knock at the Cabin, aka M. Night Shyamalan Homosexuals in the Woods movie.
That, especially after, okay, doesn't that look amazing? How is that what's that movie about?
It looks a little interesting. I mean, I actually went, I went online and it's a book, so I just read the whole summary already.
Oh no, wait, let me give what I think it's about.
Okay.
Before you give the actual answer. So, from the trailer, I surmise it's the end of, the gays have an Asian daughter, right? Classic. They go out into the woods to do a cabin because they're gays. They have lots of money, and then weird locals kidnap them, but it's not so that they can kill them for being gay. It's that it's the end of the world and one of them needs to be sacrificed. And I'm assuming the Shyamalan twist is is it actually the end of the world or are these people just nuts? Is that what it's about?
So I read the summary the day I saw the trailer. So I don't remember all the details, and I kind of purposely forgot so I could go and see the movie. But I don't know that there's a twist quite like that. But I had a good tweet about this movie, and I said that in the premise of the movie required that the two parents be gay, because in a normal family it would be very easy. That's already dad's role, because they show up to the cabin and be like, one of you has to be sacrificed to prevent the end of the world. Everyone would just be like, well, it's going to be dad. That's just dad's job. It's dad's job to be sacrificed for the end of the world. But this movie, they had to have 2 dads, so we don't know which dad has to be sacrificed.
They're like, is it the bear or the twink?
Yeah.
Or they're arguing amongst themselves how to convince the little Asian girl.
Yeah. They're like, we're not even that attached, really.
It's like we barely know her. It's not even our kid.
This also coincides with a news story out of Alabama.
Okay, wait. We're thinking of the same news story because
Did this happen in real life?
Well, no, there was just 2 gay guys that adopted kids and raped them a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah, the Florida guys.
Was it Florida? I thought it was Atlanta or something.
Oh, maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
I don't know.
M. Night Shyamalan in the most shocking twist. That would be
the twist is the. You can cut that if you need to.
We'll see. That'll be on the Patreon version.
No, but I'm always down for a Shyamalan. He's kind of hit or miss lately. I enjoyed Old.
How was Old?
Not great, but it was kind of different. So, very surreal watching experience.
M. Night Shyamalan, I feel like he has come out with quite a few movies, or I don't know, maybe he went lower budget. He had the Old movie, and then there was the Devil in the Elevator movie. And
he has I feel like he'll have a good one, and you're like, oh, is he back? And then he has a bad one immediately following, and you're like, he's not back. And then it's another one that's oh, that was kind of good. Yeah. And then that's kind of his pattern.
His arc has just been it's over, we're back. It's still over.
Oh, that's it.
I watched all of Fall, the Radio Tower movie. thinking that it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And
what was the twist?
The twist was there. Well, I don't. Yeah, I kept wait. That's why I kept waiting for the twist. Actually, there was a twist in that movie.
It was. Yeah,
it was. Which, yeah, and then I saw it. And I'm like, yep, classic Shyamalan. And then it was over, and I was like, yeah, that was not bad for an M. Night Shyamalan movie. And my wife's like, what are you talking about? That wasn't by him. I'm like, yes, it was. I'll show you. And yeah, but it wasn't. But basically, it could have been, though. So I still count it.
Yeah. My number 5 is Killers of the Flower Moon, which I think is the right title. But do you guys know about this one?
Is there a trailer?
There's no I don't think there's a trailer, but I think the movie has been done for a long time. Or at least like they've shot the movie. It's a Scorsese movie, and it's got DiCaprio, it's got Jesse Plemons, it's got Brendan Fraser, which I think he filmed it even before The Whale. Like this was gonna be his comeback movie, I think. I mean, he's like he's not the main character, but it's based on a pretty well-known book about a bunch of murders in the 1920s on the Osage reservation. I don't know if it was a reservation at the time, but among the Osage tribe, because they had oil money. And I think it's like where the FBI first, like the FBI was formed or something to investigate these murders. Or maybe that's not right, but someone can leave the correct version in the comments. But yeah, anyway, that's what I'm excited for, because it's a big brand name director with big stars and all that. Should be good, I guess.
I never actually saw the last. I love Scorsese movies, but I never saw The Irishman. Which, was supposed to be like I think, as I recall, super duper long.
It's like 4. Approaches 4, I think, like 3:45 or something.
Okay, but I had heard. I don't know. Martin Scorsese. Did he not do years ago The Departed?
Yeah.
That was one of his. And was Shutter Island also Martin Scorsese? And then I really enjoyed, was it Silence?
Yeah.
From him?
The Japanese Catholic missionary?
Yes. I love that. Although, and then some people have said that, like, oh, well, he's getting old, and directors in their old age aren't as good. Or I think I just read maybe Quentin Tarantino going off about that. But I would say also that Martin Scorsese is kind of also like M. Night Shyamalan, where he's also had a lot of kind of bad movies. So it's always kind of hit and miss. I mean, most of them I think are actually pretty good, though. But I don't know anything. I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any advertisements or anything for the Flower Moon.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to come out in 2022, possibly even 21.
Oh. So was he waiting for a theatrical release?
I think it's probably a COVID issue. And like, I don't know.
Yeah. He seems like one of those types of directors who doesn't actually care. Not like a Christopher Nolan or something, who will like build a new technology and like build a new type of film format and force every theater in America to get it to show his movies. But I think Martin Scorsese is more like, yeah, just make the movie, release it, don't care. I might be wrong.
Well, he's kind of like the anti James Cameron.
Yeah.
So he likes doing these like, period pieces with like, big name or classic actors or whatever.
Yeah.
And James Cameron's like, I have to invent a new technology and like make the seats rumble while you watch. And like Scorsese had that kind of famous, was it an article or just like a quote?
Yeah.
Where he was like, movies today are just roller coaster rides.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched an interview with James Cameron, and he's like, movies should be roller coaster rides. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like they're totally opposed to each other.
Yes.
So there's some element of like, I don't know. There's like two combating forces in cinema today, in the big time cinema.
Yes, and Martin Scorsese was famous. I mean, I only even became aware of him when I was a teenager, and I would watch like art films, like Criterion movies and stuff. And I remember he would pop up on them sometimes. It would be like movie was restored by special thanks to Martin Scorsese. Like there's an old one, The Red Shoes, I think was restored because of him. And Martin Scorsese was also really into the Apu trilogy as an Indian black and white films from, I don't know, the 1920s or the 1930s. They're quite old, maybe the 50s. So he's like all into like this art cinema, old foreign cinema, but still making like actual movies today. And so like just for that alone, he's interesting. Or the fact that he actually can make a movie. Didn't Martin Scorsese say something also about like he had never seen a Marvel movie?
He certainly didn't. He doesn't like them, that's for sure.
Right.
I don't know if I never saw one, but
yeah,
he was mainly talking about Marvel movies, but like almost like Avatar is Marvel.
Yes, it's basically the
nth
same thing.
Degree.
Giordano, you got a number 4?
Number 4 on my list was, I didn't actually write down the name. It was it was the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh,
Honor Among Thieves, I think is what it's called.
With Chris Pine.
Yeah.
With Chris Pine. And and now see the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Now there was a Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out many years ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing it with my friends.
Okay,
Really?
yes. I remember watching that, or like my younger brother rented it or something, and we watched it together, and it was just awful. I mean, it was just like the worst thing I'd ever seen at the time.
I saw it in the theater.
That's really cool, actually. That is really cool. And it was so bad. I remember really disliking it because the old one, I mean, would attempt jokes, or it would attempt humor. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like one of the Wayans brothers was like a humorous sidekick, like a comedic relief, and he would be like,
right,
and he would just be like, "Oh no, I mean, I ain't gonna be robbed from in here." I'm sorry, I don't remember any of it, but he was really not funny. And
he's like, "Oh no, I gotta roll a d20 on that."
I remember for years saying it would have been more entertaining just to sit down and watch some fat nerds play Dungeons and Dragons for an hour and a half than that movie. And I think Jeremy Irons was in it. But,
yeah, I'm looking at it now. Marlon Wayans, Jeremy Irons. I don't really. Thora Burt. Not a lot of other people.
Well, they got Wayans and Irons.
Wayans and Irons, the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
I mean, every movie they've been in together is gold. So anyway, no, I was at the movie theater, and I'm just basing all of these off of things I see at the last time I went to the movie theater, and there was like a huge cutout of Chris Pine's head in the lobby, and it just said Dungeons and Dragons on it, the way of Honor Among Thieves. And they had Chris Pine like holding a lute, and I was like, I'm so there for this.
There's a lute joke in the trailer.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've actually seen a preview for it.
So I watched the trailer yesterday when I was making this list.
Yeah.
And starting off in the trailer, so it looks a little budget for what, for trying to do like a big fantasy thing. It looks significantly cheaper than Game of Thrones, right? So my initial thing was like, this doesn't look very good. Like this looks like, but then I can tell. I mean, they're not really going for Game of Thrones. They're going for like more. I called it Guardians of the Game of Thrones. So they're really going for like, it looks like it's almost primarily a comedy. Or at least a very comedic action adventure sort of thing. But toward the end of the trailer, I'm like, all right, this actually seems okay. Like so it ended up on number 14 on my list.
I always wished that there were more of the humorous fantasy genre, although I feel like it's never been executed well, or I can barely think. Maybe if you count The Princess Bride, like that's kind of a lighthearted fantasy.
I like Robin Hood Men in Tights, but it's not a good movie.
Yeah, like that. Like I remember years ago the movie Your Highness came out, and it was like the Danny McBride, who's who's usually like really funny guy, but then I heard that movie sucked, and I never actually watched it. But I was so hoping for the Lord of the Rings and stuff to bring about this subgenre of like lighthearted, humorous fantasy movies. They only exist in my imagination, and like maybe from the 80s they had some, like, I don't know, Lady Hawk or something. Although I don't know how humorous that one was, but anyway, I feel like it never materialized. So all right, I'm hoping.
Yeah, this trailer, I mean, didn't look amazing or didn't look great, but
yeah,
it looks like they're pulling a lot from Guardians of the Galaxy and maybe some of the Waititi Thor movies or whatever. But I'm cautiously optimistic that one actually might be okay.
So I have a question. How do you do a D&D movie? Do you do it Jumanji style, or do you just ignore that side of it at all, like totally, and just be in world? Like, what's the way to do this successfully?
Based on the trailer, I think they are just... I don't think it's like, a group of kids got together and then got transported into the game. Right. I think it's just like, here are places and creatures that appear in the games. And like in the trailer, they're like going through the main group of, it looks like it might be something of a heist movie or something. And it's like this is Jimmy, he's the thief. This is, Wanda, she's the sorceress or something. It's like they're going through the classes of like characters. So I don't think they're actually going to incorporate stuff like probability of dice rolling.
That would be fascinating, although it just doesn't seem like they could pull that off. It just seems like it would be I don't know, for movies these days. I don't know. That's not true. I guess somebody could maybe write something like that.
But isn't half the fun and humor of D&D like, I rolled crappily and then totally screwed up what I was trying to do?
Maybe they'll find a way to incorporate that, like, the gods are displeased with you, and like something randomly bad happens.
There was D&D. I don't know if I've talked about this before. There was from years ago from Tom Hanks called Mazes and Monsters. And,
I've heard you mention this.
It was I mentioned this because I was strangely obsessed with this movie, but then I found it like on DVD at a garage sale somewhere. And
do you mean Angels and Demons?
The prequel to Angels and Demons, Mazes and Monsters, which tries to make itself look like it's about D&D movie, but it's actually not at all. And it's just about a guy who plays D&D occasionally in college and is mourning the death of his brother. And it's a like made-for-TV movie from the 80s. But that one, they should have incorporated more Dungeons and Dragons. I tell you, it would have been successful.
Yeah. Cool Frasier, what's your number 4?
Well, I was actually going to do D&D, so I have to pick a new one. But
well, it's okay if we overlap, and then we can just...
All right. Well, I was going to say...
or your other one.
Super Mario Bros? No, I'm not excited for that. Let's keep moving.
Mario's on my list at number 12. I mean, I'm interested in it just because it's going to be a big movie.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll flop. Like, that's what I'm interested to see. I don't really have any opinions on it other than hopefully it's enjoyable.
I thought the first like mini trailer they had looked like they knew what they were doing.
The animation was on point. I'm not sold on the voice acting yet.
Yeah, I don't think it'll flop though. I think it'll work.
Yeah, I actually saw the short preview as well, and it looked really cool. And I don't usually care about most new animated movies. I don't know if it's because I'm just the exact like old millennial demographic that grew up with Super Mario, but I found it to be very entrancing, and it looked cool and nice and well made. Although I don't understand the voice acting thing, because I feel like Italians and Italian accents is kind of like the one last ethnic group that is okay to not necessarily make fun of, but just be jokey about.
Yeah.
And so it was a shame that I felt like as an Italian, I mean, this goes with a lot of, I think, the different ethnic groups and their cartoon characters. Like Italians aren't offended by stuff like The Godfather. They think that stuff is cool. They think that Mario is funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if James Gandolfini was still alive, would he have been Mario?
Yeah. James Gandolfini as Mario. Yes, it's very serious. I'm sorry, I can't do an impression of it. But but you know what? Actually, there already was a Mario movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, and it was awesome. And I watched that in the movie theaters when I was a little kid.
I'm surprised they didn't pull Leguizamo back in.
Yeah. That was the original cyberpunk movie. That was like the first sci-fi cyberpunk movie I ever watched, Super Mario Brothers movie. And I think I've only watched it that one time in the theater. Still remember it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was enough for you.
Yeah.
It's carried you through to this day.
Yeah, it has. And used to watch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show on TV after school. And
nice.
It's pretty great. Just two old Italian men.
I played Mario Kart 64.
Mario Kart 64 parties at BYU, Idaho.
Here's my Mario question. Which casting is the best and which is the worst? Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, or Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong?
I don't think any of those really
they're like all fighting for the worst.
Are any of them good?
Maybe the Anya as Peach. I really remember what her voice sounds like now that
she has like 8 different accents because she's British.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think the Peach one really matters. Argentina. It could be any girl.
Yeah, she shouldn't be speaking.
Which actually, it raises a question for me. It's like, I mean, how much do they have to pay her, right? Like, is the bump and whatever they have to pay her, like, just is it worth it? Like, does that actually drive out that many more people? How many people are like, oh, well, there's a famous person voicing Peach. Like,
this is what I've wondered all my life with animated movies and the celebrity voices. When I was a kid,
it started with Toy Story, right?
Yes, or perhaps even earlier with maybe Aladdin with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it was earlier than that. I mean, I think it got really big. Yeah, late '80s, early '90s.
You're right. It was Aladdin. Was like they were Robin Williams. A bunch of people will go see this because we get somebody the parents know.
Yeah, and admittedly, Robin Williams was like, oh, he brought something to the role because he was riffing and ad-libbing and being funny, but. I always was interested in animation. I wanted to get into and do animation for many years when I was younger, because I like to draw and I like cartooning and stuff. But that always bothered me was like, who cares about the voices? About not about the voices, but like, who cares if it's a celebrity voice? Like, if Will Smith is doing the voice in a fish tale, like whatever that the Shark's Tale. No, there was like a DreamWorks one. Shark Tale. Like, did anybody remember or care, or did anyone go see it because of that? Because usually just don't, and just get someone who knows how to do a voice. I don't know. So
yeah, and I can understand for maybe your top 2 roles, like the 2 characters are going to have the most lines, but like,
yeah,
I don't know if you need like 6 stars, like maybe. Well, I mean, whatever, their money, but it just doesn't. I've always been a little confused.
Did you say Keegan Michael Key?
Yeah.
Yes.
Playing Toad.
That's
just like amazing. Yeah.
And what was Seth Rogen?
Donkey Kong.
Rogen as Bowser?
No. Jack Black as Bowser.
Wow. I just don't really, it's not really what I would have guessed. Although I guess I don't really know who I would have made to be those things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do wonder like how different would animated movies be if like you got professional voice actors who are like really good at doing fun cartoon voices?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like I don't know. I feel like children don't really care, but maybe adults do, maybe parents do.
Right. Like when I was watching The Bad Guys, which came out, and then I'm like, oh, who's playing that Fox lady? And then it was Zazie Beetz, and I'm like, oh yeah, it is Zazie Beetz.
I would have turned this off if it wasn't Zazie Beetz.
Thank you, Zazie.
I'll go with my number 4. Okay, so I got number 4 and number 3 on my list are interchangeable because I don't really know anything about either of them. But I guess, and this was, I think, a bit of an accident because of like COVID or something. But Wes Anderson has 2 movies coming out this year. So my number 4 is Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which I have not even read a synopsis. I don't necessarily want to know anything about it until I see it. And the other one is Asteroid City, which has something to do with like a astronomy camp or something like that. But
are both of them live action or any?
I think so. I think they're both like real movies.
Dang, Asteroid City. When you had that on the list, I was really hoping that it would be like a sci-fi movie from Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
but it's more. I was actually envisioning a colony on an asteroid cluster, and then there's like a murder that takes place there, and then there's like 2 investigators who have to go and check out who murdered this person on this asteroid colony. Directed by Wes Anderson. That would have been so cool.
Quirky characters,
yeah,
and red herrings.
And like Christoph Waltz shows up, and Bill Murray, and
yeah. So this one, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, they've got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Didn't they get Jeremy Irons and the Wayans brothers too?
I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy Irons was in one of these, but
yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch, Ralph Fiennes, Dev Patel, Ben Kingsley, and the synopsis is an adventure comedy film written and produced by Wes Anderson, based on the short story by Roald Dahl. It's somewhat looks like it's. I don't know. I don't think it's animated.
Okay, yeah, because he did Fantastic Mr. Fox, obviously, which apparently like Roald Dahl stans are like upset about, but at the same time, like wasn't Roald Dahl like a famed anti-Semite?
I don't know.
Yeah. Also wrote some, at least 1 or 2 James Bond films.
Oh.
Yeah. Just thought I would mention. Roald Dahl wrote James Bond, but then also the director of James and the Giant Peach. Never mind. I don't actually remember how this is connected. Move on.
Well, anyway, those are my number 4 and 3. There's not much to say about them. I'm just happy there's 2 Wes Anderson movies coming out. Hopefully they're both good.
No, yeah,
I like to know nothing about them. Also, I like to just
same.
go in totally blind. Yeah.
Like with French Dispatch, I didn't watch any previews or anything. I just went in, and then I was like, "Oh, that daughter of that French producer is naked."
Yep. Same.
And then I had to explain to my wife why that was happening.
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't know it's about a newspaper. I thought
it's called art. It's called art.
Yeah,
wife.
it is
called
art.
Being French. Okay.
No, but I'm a big Wes Anderson fan, as longtime fans will know.
Yeah.
So I'm all in. I'm seeing them in theater.
Did you see? So the only synopsis for Asteroid City was that it was about possibly an astronomy camp.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, that's good to know because otherwise I would have walked in thinking it was my asteroid murder mystery, which would have
Asteroid City. We got. Who's in this movie? Maya Hawke, Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie, Tom Hanks.
Wow.
I don't like that.
Yeah, get him out of there.
Edward Norton.
Like that.
He's a return a return.
Yes.
Wes
So is
Anderson
Scarlett
again.
Johansson and
Adrian Brody.
Tom Hanks going to be having some stupid accent.
Probably.
Time. Yeah.
Asteroid City takes place at a convention for teen stargazers where countless children and parents will meet and interact. It's set in 1955.
So there could be aliens.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. And
We got Bryan Cranston.
Another I Love Dogs guy.
I'm going to say Tom Hanks, I'm going to call it, is going to be a Creole, like a French Creole guy who has something to do with Halley's Comet. And he's at the convention selling a book or something about Halley's Comet. And he's going to talk with like this obnoxious Creole accent the whole time.
I think he's actually, it's the 50s, right? So he's going to reprise his role as Colonel Tom Parker. Is that his name?
Tom Parker, yeah.
From Elvis.
Yeah. The snowman.
Huh?
The snowman.
Yeah, he did snow jobs.
Because he did snow jobs, and he just was always snow themed. He made a lot of snow themed puns.
He was snow jobbing everyone.
Yeah.
Also, if you've made it this far in the episode, please use hashtag ZazyBeats.
Hashtag ZazyBeats, hashtag snowjob.
Yeah.
ZazyBeats.
I don't even know how to spell ZazyBeats.
Everybody spell it differently.
ZazyBeats.
ZazyBeats by Dre.
Oh, she's German. That's why her name is like that.
Ah.
She's a German woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, back to you, Giordano. What's your number 3? I did my number 4 and 3, so I get to skip around.
Oh, okay. Number 3 was actually number 3 was 65, which I started with because I just kind of went out of order. There was another one I had on my list. It's called The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah, so what's going on here? They got a prequel or something?
There's apparently a prequel to The Hunger Games, which I was a little disappointed because I don't really like prequels for things that are like fully, I don't know if it's finished. I actually don't really understand anything about The Hunger Games. I think I watched all of them in theaters. I don't understand what they're about. They're about children and on an island or something about killing each other. But anyway, I just purely because I love this title, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is, I mean, just The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is pretty awful as a title. But then they went all out and they made this enormously long, difficult, convoluted title. So to me, that says like, we have something here. Like this is something big, bold. Okay. We demand that you come and watch it. And so I'm excited, and I'm going to go watch that if it ever actually comes out. I think it says it was coming out in 2023, and it's supposed to tell the story of I forgot the name. What's the
guy?
The bad guy,
President Snow.
Yeah, of the famous actor that portrayed him, the
Sutherland.
Thank you, Donald Sutherland. So Donald Sutherland's backstory. Is
Donald
Sutherland still alive? Actually, is he still around? You know what? They should get Kiefer Sutherland to play him.
Donald Sutherland's in the movie. I think they have a trailer.
Oh, okay, so he's still around.
They're de-aging him to be a teenager.
They're going to de-age him to run around with PETA and Katniss, even though I guess this is before they were alive. But yeah, that'd be sweet, actually. So I'm all in for the Hunger Games. The other movies were very bad. And actually really way too long and even
really bad
parts. The action was really terrible. But, it's an interesting premise, but they just they just sucked. They got everything wrong. But I will still go and watch this for some reason, and I will still pay money.
Controversial take, but I don't remember them very well, but I thought they were actually okay. I mean, I don't...
Well, there must be something good about them because I kept going back and watching them.
they're fine, but they're not good. That's what it is. Like, but also I found out why the title's so long. The book is just called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yes.
But obviously, no movie studio is going to be like, oh yeah, we'll release it calling it just The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes and not mention The Hunger Games. So they had to add The Hunger Games in front of it.
I mean, I just, just a suggestion. I know I'm not like a big shot Hollywood mogul guy, but could you not have just gone with The Hunger Games, Songbirds and Snakes, or just Songbirds? Because like that, it's like a tongue twister, and it's actually just embarrassing to even say it out loud. Like when you go buy the ticket to this movie, how are you actually going to say that to the person? But yeah,
that's how I feel about ordering any menu items at like a chain restaurant.
I love reading the entire name.
It's like,
I'll have the Peruvian purple potatoes with steak sauce and green bean foie gras.
Well, that's actually a really dignified one, because a lot of times it's like the spicy crunchy, the spicy crunchy gordita extreme.
Yeah, I always, when I'm like, can I get the Doritos Locos Tacos Supreme, please?
Yeah. Baja Blast Electro Charge Zero. Yeah.
No, they had a new slushy. It was like the Electro Fizz Blue Raspberry Buzz.
It's like, I don't know why, but I feel like a pedophile ordering this, and I can't explain.
My big problem with the Hunger Games movies is they never explain in the movies how the hunger is linked to the games. So it's like a big part of the books, and everyone who read the books got it. I didn't read the books.
This is like the first. Okay, please. Yes.
Yeah. It's because I just watched the movies. I'm like, I'm not reading these books. I don't care. And so I watched the movies, and I'm like, why do they agree to do this? And apparently, you can get free food from the government, but every time you take the free food, you have to like enter an extra raffle ticket into being drafted into the Hunger Games. So the more food you take, the more likely you're going to get called into the Hunger Games.
All these years, like, this is unbelievable.
Right.
I'm like watching the first movie, and like the whole time I'm just turning and I'm just like wanting to ask people around me, but why is it called the Hunger Games? What does it have to do with hunger? I don't understand. And why are they agreeing to do this? Like, why just
why not just like not show up for the draft or something?
If your district wins, does your district get more food?
I think that's it too. Like you get some kind of benefit for winning as well.
You get more North Korean grain rations.
So they didn't want to put that in the movies because
I'm assuming they probably filmed it but cut it for time, but it makes it very confusing to somebody who just watches the movies, because you're like, wait, what does this have to do with hunger? Like, I don't even get it.
With games, it's not really a game, is it? It's people.
It's also weird. Obviously, a teen book wouldn't do this, and the movie version wouldn't do this either. But it's funny how there's like an arbitrary, each district, like there's like the good districts and the bad districts. And like in real life, there's usually some sort of like ethnic or political component to that. Like certain groups get ignored or whatever. But in this one, it's just like, oh, you just live in the bad place, and so we just hate you.
Just geographic boundary.
Yeah.
And Katniss Everdeen lived in like the coal burning district.
Yeah, hers District 12 is basically like West Virginia.
Remember that tweet that was like, "Stop burning coal! Stop burning coal!
Stop! Just stop, okay, please."
Yeah, I do remember that one. That guy was ahead of his time.
That guy was something. Yeah, Hunger Games. Well, guys, just don't do that. Then maybe just don't kill each other. I don't know. Or can you guys just like grow your own food?
Well, yeah, like she was like hunting for food, but apparently that's not allowed or something. I don't know.
So you have to take the government food.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's not a lot of farmland in West Virginia. It's hillsides.
Well,
but you'd think after like Squid Games came out, like people are clamoring to get another like people killing themselves in a game situation going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also shout out to episode, what is it, 2? Where Giordano and Granite discuss the inspiration for Hunger Games.
That's right.
Oh, it's episode 1.
Episode 1.
Battle Royale.
Right. The debut, self-titled debut episode.
Go listen to it.
Yeah. That was such a good one. I try to make a habit of listening to that like once a month.
Do you really?
You know, in the shower or something.
Go back and listen to it?
Yeah. Just, you know.
I actually have it set as my alarm. It just starts playing.
It's my ringtone for my wife.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a classic. Yeah. So that was my number. I was actually my number 5.
Well, it's your number 3 now.
Oh yeah, it's number 3 for sure.
In the Book of Heaven, that's your number 3 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Is it my number 3? Whose number 3 are we doing?
Yours now. Cool Frasier, what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is a movie that came out in 1991 called Black Robe.
Oh, because you know, you had mentioned Black Robe, so I Googled Black Robe, and it was like 1991 film.
Yeah, so Delicious Tacos on Twitter has been tweeting about it because he's in love with Southeast Asian women, and there's a Southeast Asian woman who plays a Native American woman in Black Robe.
Yeah, Sandrine Holt.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's in. I just finished Better Call Saul, and she's in that.
Oh, she is?
Oh.
Yeah.
She's the sister to what's
Nicholas
her name?
Holt?
No. Adrienne Ho. There you go.
Adrienne Ho?
Ho. Yeah, her actual real name is Ho, but she Americanized it to Holt. But anyway, I mainly watched it because I had never heard of it, and I was like, oh, a Native American movie? I'm down. But when I was watching it, I realized how much I hate CGI. Because there's just these like sweeping shots of like, you know, the vistas of northern Canada, and it's on film, and it just looks amazing, and they actually had people in canoes in costume, and they filmed like a big vista of that, and it just looks great. And I'm like, why don't movies do that anymore? Because this movie from 1991 looks better than like every movie I saw last year.
Yeah.
So that's why I included
All right, so your number 3 is Black Robe.
Yeah, looking forward to it for this year.
Did you watch it on? Did you watch it on? Was it streaming or was it like on?
It's on Prime Video. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free.
All right.
It's got that guy Aiden Young, who I don't know if you ever saw the show Rectify. It was pretty good. He's in that.
There's like a lot of like actual Native American language in it, which I think is cool. Like they didn't just have him speak broken English. And there's a midget shaman in it. It's a little violent if you don't like that.
That was 1991, you said?
That's what it says, yeah.
It seems like that was there's a lot of Native American type films. There was like Dances with Wolves,
right?
And that one on The Last of the Mohicans.
Well, I had heard of those, but I had never heard of Black Robe. And
I never have either. I have not heard of that, but I'm just noticing that there was a common popular theme, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I thought because it's the title Black Robe, I wondered if it was like about a priest or something.
Yes, and it's. I think the message they were trying to convey is religion is cringe, but even still, it's actually got like, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but this movie from 1991, but basically there's a scene at the end where the priest, this tribe of people beg the priest to baptize them because they're dying of like, you know, COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
And but it's actually like a moving scene. I was like, oh, this is like, when do you see like a moving religious scene in movies?
There's not a lot of baptism scenes that are very positive.
I mean, it's Catholic baptism, so it is kind of cringe, but sorry to our Catholic listeners, I apologize.
People who searched for Black Robe also searched for silence.
Oh, I was going to say another one is The Mission. If you ever saw that.
And they also search for The Mission.
Takes place in Paraguay, right?
Yes.
So the Google relative searches were Silence, The Mission, and Last of the Mohicans.
Okay. That's The Mission is more like South American, but also really great. And actually, is that Jeremy Irons? So, see you guys.
Did they get the weigh-ins too?
Yeah, it all comes together right there.
Liam Neeson, who's also in Silence. Okay, Giordano, it's your turn again.
Okay,
what's your number 2?
Okay, are we sharing? I can share my number 2. Are we also sharing any movies that we're not interested in?
We'll do that after.
We'll save that.
We'll just run through a bunch of other crap.
Sounds good. My number 2 is the Meg 2 Trench. The Trench. The Meg 2. The Trench, I think.
The Trench.
The Trench.
Too Trench, Too Furious.
2 thes in the title.
I actually thought
Meg,
the Trench. They should have called it the Meg 2 Trench Warfare, but I think they just called it the Trench.
2 Meg 2 Trench.
The Meg 2 the Trenchening.
The Meg back to the trench. And
2 Meg 2 Trench.
Imagine, if you will, camera. The opening shot. You're just like seeing a beautiful, summery looking ocean, sparkling blue water, and then, wouldn't you know it, a huge shark shows up. It's an innovative new idea for a movie, and the one that we haven't seen before, and it looked really cool. And actually, I just enjoy going to watch shark movies. I get the summers off because I'm a public school educator, and so the one luxury of my life is going to watch shark films, bad shark movies. And so I look forward to it. I don't really remember anything about part 1, although I remember really enjoying it. And there was also a small Yorkie that would be swimming around, paddling in the water, and like everyone thought that the Yorkie died in the Meg 1. Like everyone thought that this little Yorkie got eaten by the shark. But then at the end, it turns out the Yorkie was still alive. And I actually remember people in the theater like literally cheering on that part. And so that was like a memorable movie experience. So I hoped that they would recapture that for the Meg 2 Down in the Trenches.
Chekhov's Yorkie.
Yeah. Chekhov's Yorkie. Yes.
I don't have any Meg content.
There's nothing. It's not, everything I've seen about the Meg. They were surprised it even made any money, the first one, and they were kind of shocked that it made its money back. So they're like, I guess we'll make a second one.
And Meg is short for like megalodon.
Oh yes, it's a megalodon shark. Yes, that gets discovered from being stuck in a polar ice cap or something. I don't really remember, but I do love them shark movies. And then there's like 40 meters down, 2 Uncaged or something like that. And one I watched called Crawl. That wasn't about a shark. That was about a giant alligator. But
I heard that was good. Yeah,
it was.
I actually heard the Meg 2 the Trench is going to be even bigger and badder than the first one. Literally. They say the Meg has evolved and grown an extra set of jaws. Well, anyway, I can't wait to see it, but I'll definitely be sitting in the back row with a life jacket on just in case.
Yeah. It's like, and like in the first one, it was like so big it could almost eat like a whole boat. And so this one, I think I saw in the poster, it was like eating an entire like Carnival cruise ship. That's how big that these things are. Okay, how do you fight against that?
Will it be in 3D?
2D because it's Meg 2.
In Meg Vision, Trench Vision.
Yeah. I don't normally like to watch the 3D movies, but I'll make an exception for Meg 2.
Yeah. Okay. Cool Frasier, what's your number 2?
Let me double check. It's the Transformers movie, right? Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Oh,
so imagine me, 8 years old, sitting down for Saturday morning cartoons. What comes on the screen? Beast Wars, Transformers. And I'm just like, there's a gorilla, there's a cheetah, there's a rat with a New York accent, there's a T-Rex, a pterodactyl, a scorpion named Scorponok, and they're all fighting each other. So I'm probably like the number one like lore expert on Beast Wars. Beast Wars actually introduced the concept of a spark into the Transformers universe. Few people know that. But anyway, Beast Wars is like my jam. Like I was the biggest Beast Wars fan. So like I don't care about who likes Transformers or doesn't. I want to see Optimus Primal get his swords out and start like chopping them up, you know? Let's do
Wait. So this is Rise of the Beasts, but it's the same as Beast Wars?
Yeah, they've got Cheetor and Optimus Primal in the preview, and Optimus Primal has his like classic swords.
Optimus Primal being he's different from Optimus Prime?
So the synopsis. Beast Wars is the movie 65, but for Transformers. So these future descendants of the Transformers from the 80s cartoon are chasing each other, and they go through a time warp and end up on primitive Earth. And so there's no cars that they can turn into to be disguised, and they end up scanning around and find the most powerful life forms available, which are the animals they become. Wow. Then they go and find out, there's actually like primitive cavemen and stuff that Dinobot helps and like protects them from Megatron, and he dies, loses his spark protecting the humans. But then they end up like finding the ship that the Autobots crash landed, and Optimus Prime is in there, and like they have to protect him from getting killed to not be like Back to the Future erased. So yeah, there's a whole lot of lore there.
Oh no, this movie has Pete Davidson.
He's having sex with all the Transformers, all the sexy Transformer ladies.
Every beast, Transformer beast.
He could play Rat Trap.
He plays Mirage, whatever Mirage is.
Mirage.
But yeah, so I want to see it. It's probably going to be bad, but I'm excited about it.
Wow, all I know about Transformers movie is the very first one many years ago when that came out, and I watched it, and I actually felt violently sick about like 2 hours into the movie. There was like this extended 40-minute fight scene, and there was like I felt like I was going to vomit, and like I was sick for like 2 days after watching it, and it almost killed me. So I've never watched another one ever since.
But that's a powerful movie.
That's like
you can't handle the bay.
I can only watch it in 5-minute increments, so I can't wait. I'm watching Beast Wars.
Yeah, only a true work of art can make you feel that.
Yeah, for like that feeling you get for like days after. And I was gonna say, I was hoping that Beast Wars would finally eliminate the pesky, because like the thing that we hate most about Transformers is the humans. Like we don't want to see people. I just want to see robots and cars fighting.
No
each
humans.
Other. But then you said, but there's unfortunately some cave people.
Oh, right. But they just like say ooh, ah.
They don't even. Hopefully, they don't even speak English or anything.
No, but like Dinobot teaches them to make a tool out of a rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So get rid of those pesky people, and now you've got a movie. Because I just want to see that.
Then the sequel to Beast Wars is called Beast Machines, and it gets into like Zen Buddhism and stuff, where they become techno-organic. The tying in of technology and organic material into one being, and they have a crazy like 90s techno song as the theme song for that show. It's really good, and it's like it's good.
Yeah. If you thought, if this is like for people who are like Bionicle is too like it's too normy. It's like it's like this is low tier stuff. Yeah.
We're taking it to the next level.
The next level, yeah.
All right, I'll do my number 2. Unless you guys had more.
No, that's it.
I just want to know. I don't understand that. I didn't know that Transformers could reproduce. Because you had mentioned that they had like descendants that went into the past.
I don't know if they were like birthed or just like future versions of them.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, like more advanced.
I guess you were not. But
the Autobots and the Decepticons evolve and change into the Maximals and the Predacons.
Do you think will this one have Linkin Park?
It better.
Yeah, what would be a good Linkin Park?
I hope they bring back that techno song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the name of it.
Just do a Linkin Park cover of that, recorded before that guy died.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Chester.
Yeah, poor Chester.
All right, my number 2 is Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer.
Oh.
Which there was like this rumor that he like that they like really detonated a nuclear or atomic bomb, I guess, which didn't really happen, but they're gonna like let people believe it. They're not trying to correct anyone.
That they filmed that?
Yeah.
They just bought an atomic bomb from the government?
Yeah.
I have some insight here.
Yeah, tell me about the bomb, because the filming of these bombs is supposed to be a big deal.
Oh.
So I watched a documentary, which I recommend to everyone. It's a great documentary. It's very ASMR, but it's called Trinity and Beyond: The Atomic Bomb Story. So it's about the same thing, essentially. Trinity being the first atomic bomb that was blown up in White Sands, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Before Trinity, what they did is they got 1,000 tons of TNT, or 1 kiloton, right? Which is how they measure the yield of early atomic bombs. They later moved into megatons, right?
Yeah.
And so they blew up 1,000 tons of TNT to be like, well, what happens if we actually set off, something that's like 4 to 20 kilotons? Like, will we blow up the Earth or what? So they decided to test 1,000 tons of TNT. And so I think that's basically what they did, is they kind of replicated that. They got like a bunch of TNT and just blew it up.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've almost I've seen some of the pictures, the behind the scene pictures, and if it's like Tenet, which there's some Tenet defenders out there, but I'm not really one of them. I thought it was like fine, but
I'm one of them. I just watched it for the first time like last week.
I think it looks really cool, but I don't really like it that much as a movie. But if it's like Tenet, I would probably rather watch like the making of Oppenheimer than an Oppenheimer. Like that might be better.
So like maybe it's a movie that you can watch like backwards.
Actually, you just stole my number one. The making of Oppenheimer was my number
one.
Discovery Channel behind the scenes making of Oppenheimer.
I don't know what is the I don't know if I made this joke on Twitter or if I was just like thinking it or something, but there's this obsession with Oppenheimer because he made the bomb. And I remember there was one Saturday afternoon on NPR, they played an opera also called Oppenheimer. That was like a modern
Oppenheimer.
It was a modern American opera sung in English about all these scientists singing about making the atomic bomb and how horrible it was and how we wish we didn't have to make this atomic bomb and how we're going to just destroy the world. And I don't know if that's what this movie's about. I saw the preview and it just showed like a lot of sort of doomsday looking like fiery explosions. But I'm just sort of like, well, Mr. Oppenheimer, just like then just don't make it then. Just stop.
Let me read this. There's a pretty well-known green text from 4chan where it's like a soy jack drawing of Oppenheimer, and he's like, I willingly helped invent the most destructive weapon on Earth, and now I feel bad. How can this happen to me? I've become Death-a-Reno.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, maybe it's just like 2 hours of a guy sitting at a desk doing math equations. But yeah, it looked. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, so if it's hopefully nothing like Tenet, in that it will actually make sense and it will have well recorded dialogue, and not take place in bizarre airport lounges, that airport storage lounge things that I've never heard of and I don't understand, then it will be good.
Yeah. Giordano, what's your number one? I guess we're number one.
The number one is Dune 2, the part 2 of Dune. And
that was my number one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a movie because it's just the ending of the first movie, so I'm still waiting for Dune. It's kind of funny because Dune 2, this is some Dune lore, but I originally learned about Dune when I was a child. On my dad's computer, there was the computer PC game installed on it that was called Dune 2. And it was a real-time strategy game. And I had no idea what Dune was. I wasn't familiar with the movies or the books at the time because I was just a little kid. But I still think of Dune 2 when I think of Dune. So I don't think are they going to call it Dune 2, or does anyone know what the actual title is?
I think it's just Dune Part 2 or something.
They're going to call it Dune 2, not the computer game.
Actually,
not the old computer game.
The old RTS.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve had he drew heavily from the video game.
From the old PC game?
That was his main inspiration.
I mean, it was actually a very evocative game for the early 90s PC world. But I'm looking forward to Dune 2. When I think that the same issues happened with the David Lynch Dune, where kind of like the second half of the movie felt very rushed and kind of didn't make sense, or wasn't that as good as strong as the first half of the old Dune movie. So hopefully by making this an entirely separate movie, it'll actually work out, or hopefully they can finally get some more screen time for Chani, because I feel like everyone's just clamoring to see more of her.
I actually heard they were recasting her with Zazie Beetz.
The Zazie Beetz cut of Dune. And
release the Zazie Beetz cut. # release the Zazie.
They can go back and digitally replace her in the first one. They actually had to go back and refilm entire scenes.
Giordano, yeah. I never heard your Dune 1 take. Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah. Yes, I loved Dune. I loved it. Because I love Dune, and I love the novels, and I love every iteration that I've ever seen of Dune. The thing about the first one, it was like, I think my biggest issue was sometimes I just needed it to be a little bit weirder. I enjoyed the Villeneuve sheen and look is to make things look realistic and sort of stripped down, and that has it's cool because it helps you suspend your disbelief, and it helps you make things look very real. But at the same time, I also kind of need some things to be more aesthetically, or I don't know, just artistically weird and different. Otherwise, it sort of ends up looking a little flat. I just recall that one scene where Paul is fighting, and he's fighting with is it not Stilgar?
Chani's first husband.
No, when he's fighting with his trainer. Duncan Idaho.
Yeah, Duncan Idaho. No, not Duncan Idaho. Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin guy.
Gurney Halleck.
Thank you, Gurney. Who
I am a Dune fan, I swear.
I promise. Gurney Halleck, which I wanted a scene of them of Gurney Halleck playing his weird space lute.
Space lute.
They skipped
weirdness. All the Princess Irulan stuff in the first half, right?
Yeah.
So that's where he plays the lute.
Yeah, yeah. And they're fighting, and it just looks like he's just wearing like a gray T-shirt from Target, and so I don't know, just maybe the costumes is what I needed more of. I don't know. I'm not really usually. I don't want to be too nitpicky about it. A friend of mine was complaining about it and said, "Well, what's even one memorable scene from the movie?" Because he was a little let down by it, and I thought that there was actually
Yeah.
a really memorable scene, which was the scene when they're in the ornithopter, and there's like this green sheen from the green light glow, which I loved, and they're in the darkness in the nighttime, and then they both start using the voice on their captors and make them kill themselves. And I thought that was so cool and so awesome, and it like made me feel like I was, in Dune. So I really liked that. But I'm still shocked about I'm really disappointed that they never used the sleeper must awaken. Did they not use? I don't think they used that line in the entire movie, which I
It's
thought
gonna
was
awaken whether they use the line or not.
well, yeah, right. Maybe they were saving it for part 2. And in fact, one of my favorite things in movies, and I don't know what this is called, I love when a character who was killed in a previous movie or who's definitely dead makes an appearance in a sequel, but like in a flashback. So I don't really know a ton of examples of this, but like in The Lord of the Rings, if you watch the extended editions, you see like Boromir show up in the Two Towers, and in like The Godfather, at the end of The Godfather Part 2, you see Sonny back alive again. I love flashbacks that have dead people in the sequels. It makes and so I was thinking maybe Oscar Isaac would show up in Part 2 and do a little, the sleeper must awaken line, and maybe Paul would remember it. Here's hoping.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and your note on it not being weird enough, the everyone's favorite part was probably the weirdest part, which was the throat singing.
Oh yes, yeah, that was
Like like that was everyone's favorite part because it was weird, and like
that
there
was
were
very
like
memorable.
naked bleeding people and a guy singing all weird and doing weird stuff, and we were like, oh, this is cool, we like this.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
hopefully he takes that note and is like, let's up the weirdness.
yeah.
The casting on Dune 2, Princess Irulan I mentioned. Do you guys know who's playing that? It's one of our podcast favorite actresses. From
Zazie?
Don't Worry, Darling, Florence
Florence Pugh.
or
Yeah.
Pug.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like she's a little broad-shouldered for a princess. Isn't she?
Oh, okay.
And then
yeah.
Fade Rautha, who was absent from the first movie. The Sting from the original one is being
Austin
played
Butler.
by Austin Butler doing an Elvis accent.
That'll be really
stop. He can't stop.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's actually interesting and cool. I noticed they didn't really explore the whole Baron Harkonnen as a pederastic, psychotic.
They had a little bit of. Didn't he have like a sex slave when he was on?
They might have alluded to that, maybe, but that seems like kind of a difficult thing to show in this current climate.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think they make it obvious.
Yeah.
One thing that Giordano, you were talking about how like Denis' style tends to make things really clean and smooth. Since the first part came out, all these like AI image generators have gotten really popular.
Yeah.
And I feel like Dune Part 1 looks a lot like all these Mid-Journey outputs now.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? With David Lynch's insane and surreal textures. Because I feel like all of that 80s look, so much of it was like just having bumpy, weird textures, and because everything was it wasn't smooth because it was all handmade and
right
using real photography. Yeah, as opposed to the sort of smoothness of the CG world that we're currently, the CG hell that we're currently living in. Yeah.
All right. So sorry.
I was gonna say the number one weird hope we have is, do you know who the Emperor is gonna be?
No.
No.
Christopher Walken.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that
So
real?
I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's going weird mode on us.
Yeah, let's go weird. Embrace it.
Yeah, I am really, really excited for this second movie.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed even the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries of Dune and the Children of Dune.
Especially Children of Dune.
Children of Dune is like also another case where they just went crazy and they did a lot of weird stuff. I mean, because the whole series, it gets progressively more weird.
Young McAvoy did great, and then the guy who played Paul did so good as the preacher.
Agreed. Yeah, they're both very good in their roles, and I thought it maybe in some ways even like the iconic portrayals. Although you gotta love Kyle MacLachlan, so I don't know. But
I'm gonna cut Dune 2 off right there.
Yeah.
And then Cool Frasier, did you have a number one? Another thing you wanted to bring up?
Can I do one Dune 2 riff?
Do one more Dune 2, yeah.
The female who plays Paul's sister, what's her face in the Children of Dune thing? Now that I think about it, looks kind of like Ayala or whatever from Twitter. That's all.
Well, isn't that also her name?
No, it's
What's her name in Dune?
It is Alia.
Alia, not Aaliyah.
Google it, Alia from the mini series Children of Dune.
Right, and she's like some Serbian actress or something.
Probably.
I don't think she was. I think she's like some Eastern European, but she looks like Ayala. Alia.
That's all. We're not supposed to talk about her, but sorry,
don't talk about her.
How
is she here? She's everywhere.
It's a meme. I don't know. She exists as a meme. So yeah. My number one, which is not as gonna be as good as the one we just talked about, but based off the trailer, I'm very excited about it.
Oh, is there a trailer for it?
No, for my number one, which is Gran Turismo, based off of the video game. It's actually not based off the video game, apparently. It's based off of the true story of when the video game held a competition for the best racer in the video game to get to be able to have a chance to race on a Formula One team.
What? This is a movie?
This is a movie. But, so it sounds dumb. Like, how do you make a car racing movie a movie? But the cast looks pretty good, and in the preview they show some of it, and they're using like the same technology that was used in Top Gun to make their flying scene so exciting. They're using that in the cars because they needed IMAX style cameras that could fit in all different types of cars, including like Formula One cars. So I started thinking about it, like, when's the last good car racing movie we had? And I guess there's been a lot. I just reminded myself of all of them. But anyway, this looks really cool. And it looks like it'll be like a fun summer movie. I think it comes out in like June.
August 11th.
August 11th. It comes out in August, so it'll be a fun late summer movie.
They got a Spice Girl in this.
Which one?
Jerry Halliwell.
Is that Baby?
Was she Baby? I forget. No, she wasn't Baby. She's Ginger.
Ginger. Who's Baby?
I don't know.
Oh.
We call her Chubby Spice.
Mommy Spice.
In the 90s.
Yeah,
we should do a podcast where we just come up with alternate Spice Girls.
Let's do a podcast on the Spice Girls.
Spice World movie.
But anyway, I probably, when I was 13, I probably put like 8 hours a day into Gran Turismo 3. And if you don't know that game, like, to get the cars, you can't just like buy them. They're not like skins you can buy. You had to actually like beat the races. And some of the races are like, they have, for instance, 24 hours at Le Mans. is one of the races in the game. So you have to race the Le Mans course for 24 hours in game time. And so I would pause my PS2 and hope that nobody would turn it off and race for like 3 hours, take a break, and then keep going.
That is. Did you get it? Did you get?
Yeah, I did.
Amazing.
I wasted a lot of time on it.
So,
but then when I got my driver's license, I was like, yeah, I know all of this.
Yeah, I can drive. This is the same way for me. And as we mentioned earlier, the Mario Kart.
Yeah. Exactly.
I learned to drive from Twisted Metal.
Which was your guy in Twisted Metal?
Like that ice cream van or whatever.
Yeah, that was everyone's guy.
The guy with he had his arms out to two giant tires and would shoot missiles out of himself.
I didn't actually have like a gaming console, so I just played it sometimes.
You were too poor to afford video games?
Yeah, pretty much. My parents were like against them. I had a Dreamcast for a while.
You had a Dreamcast?
Hey,
money bags.
What the heck?
I couldn't afford a freaking Dreamcast.
Well, I think we came into it. I think someone I think my brother borrowed it. one of those things where you borrow it and never give it back.
This is like 5 years after Dreamcasts were stopped being made.
Oh yeah. This was also after. Yeah, this was after they were relevant, and it was and
there were no games.
There was no games, but some kid at school burned us a CD of all the NES emulator games or whatever. Oh. So I played NES on a Dreamcast.
They should make a movie about that.
Yeah, they should make a movie about that.
Yeah.
The emulation scene.
You guys ever seen The Wizard? That movie with
yes.
Fred Savage or whatever?
Yes.
No.
He plays Super Mario.
Yeah.
You'd like The Wizard. You'd like it. Doesn't it takes place in Utah, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And they traveled to California from Utah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm changing The Wizard to my number one.
The Wizard, yeah. Everyone go watch The Wizard.
Go watch The Wizard.
1990.
89.
99.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indie movie about family, Super Mario Brothers, etc.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, but let me advertise for this mega corporation a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Neil Blomkamp directing. That could be interesting. Action. He knows how to do it. Orlando Bloom. Is this a Bloom back? Could this be the Bloom back?
I'm praying.
Yeah.
It is.
The Bloom Connaissance or something.
Because he's been gone, right?
Yeah, he disappeared off the face of the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been gone.
He was in The Hobbit where he played a kind of a bloated Legolas.
Right.
Who was much younger than the other Legolas. Yeah. That was the last time we ever saw him. Then he went to the
just a very smooth Villeneuve Legolas.
He was very smooth, yes.
All right. So we did our top fives.
All right.
I was going to speed run some of these other ones. Maybe I'll just say the name and we can riff.
Yeah, just say the names.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a straight to Netflix movie that I'm interested in called The Killer from David Fincher. I think it's got Fassbender. I don't know anything about it, but it's Fincher, so I'm going to watch it.
Love Fassbender.
Barbie.
Barbie.
We should have talked about Barbie.
Well, we should have talked about Barbie, but
maybe we'll have a full episode on it. Look forward to that.
Excited. I'm excited for Barbie culturally, but I don't know that I'm that excited for the movie itself. I'll definitely see it.
Yeah, the preview was completely horrifying, and I felt a lot of dread after watching that preview. I felt like I had to go pray after watching it, so that wasn't a good feeling at all. And
I think they're gonna pull some tricks, some subversive, dirty little tricks with that one.
Yeah.
Has any other toy IP done well?
Legos.
Oh, Lego. Yeah, you're right.
Lego movie, the Slinky movie.
But I know Battleship didn't.
This Barbie one is weird though because they're targeting
adults
like us.
Yeah,
they're targeting 35 to 45-year-olds.
Edgelords.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little just seeing the girls killing their children and killing babies, and then like, oh, I can become a Barbie, and that was just overall weird.
Yeah,
weird. Also, that they're still making references to 2001: A Space Odyssey, when I feel like who's seen that still?
That too. That's what I mean about like who they're targeting.
Yeah,
like,
Zoomers are like, what is this? Like, why are they smashing things around a black obelisk?
Yeah.
Even like most of the people who played with a Barbie, like they don't care about 2001.
Right. So maybe it's just made by a bunch of dorks and
oh, we know who it is. I mean, it's Greta Gerwig and Baumbach.
Oh, that's not good.
And Baumbach's obviously like, he's obviously like a depraved guy. So
there's going to be a lot of abortion in this film. I'm just guessing, either overtly or not.
They should put that on the poster. There's going to be a lot of abortion.
It's gonna. They know how to sell those tickets. That's right. Barbie. Yeah, I'll watch that. Sure.
Yeah, for the abortions. Okay, and then we got Wick 4, John Wick 4. All the John Wick movies are the same to me, but I like them. But they're all just like, it's like, okay, we're gonna get like 19 new fight scenes.
Yeah, 1 was great, refreshing. 2, I enjoyed, a lot of fun. 3, I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it yet. I know I would love it, but I just haven't watched it.
I think 3 is the one with Halle Berry. The Halle Berry stuff's all the worst parts of it.
Oof. Halle Berry is the worst. She was bad. I didn't see it though, but she sucked as Storm in X-Men. So every scene that she's in, she's not very good. Although I'll tell you what, Catwoman, really good.
You know what I liked her in? The last
technical difficulties, internet outage, alert.
Frasier, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think nothing else to say on John Wick. Let's go to Mission Impossible. It's like part 1 of there's doing 2 movies. It's like the end of Tom Cruise's run as Mr. Mission Impossible.
I'm pro these movies.
They're good. I mean, I won't be surprised if this is the top grossing movie of the year.
They're good to watch once.
They are good to watch once. They really are. I tried watching one a second time, and I could not get into it. But every time I watch them, they're really great.
Yeah,
in the moment.
So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I don't care about it, but they're always pretty reliable.
Yeah, they are.
Then we got Napoleon.
Oh yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon, straight to Apple TV.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. They're not going to.
So I'll have to torrent that one.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott's The Last Duel, I loved, and I wanted him to do. And of course, there's like Gladiator. Anyway, he's really good at doing these huge historical epics.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part of the Napoleon trailer is when Napoleon looks at the camera and goes, "We live in a society," but he says it in French.
The best part is when he votes for Pedro. There's this one called Leave the World Behind. I don't know much about it, but it's Sam Esmail, the guy who made Mr. Robot.
Okay.
It's actually, the premise actually sounds like the Knock at the Cabin Shyamalan movie. It's about people at an Airbnb and some other people show up and claim it's like end of the world or something like that. That sounds very similar.
So they bought the same script.
Maybe they did, or maybe I'm misrepresenting it. But
is it a show or a movie?
It's a movie, but I think it's going straight to Netflix.
Okay, I'll watch it.
All right.
Yeah,
I probably need to finish Mr. Robot first, though.
Yeah, I got to finish Mr. Robot. Here's another one. This Timothée Chalamet guy. Have you heard of him?
Yep.
Legally required to be in every film.
They're letting him be Willy Wonka. Yeah, which, the Gene Wilder Wonka is a very important thing to me.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm not like excited about this Chalamet guy getting to be Wonka, but it's a prequel, I guess. Maybe it's
a prequel of the Johnny Depp one. Like he'll be all pale.
I think it's just a prequel of the Gene Wilder one.
We're getting a double Roald Dahl year.
I don't know what's going on. But we have to think. You have to assume Wonka was maybe had a traumatic experience in childhood that made him like that. So maybe we get to see that.
Didn't they already do that in the Johnny Depp one?
Yeah, Johnny Depp was a prequel.
I don't think I ever saw it. So I think they're just memory holing Johnny Depp one.
I mean, I feel like they probably are making it because of that one, because he probably made like $1 billion. Is Timothy Chalamet the new Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, in too many movies.
Yeah. He sounds like who pointed out that he sounds like Charlie Sheen? Because he does.
I don't know. That's funny though.
If you ever listen to them talk, just imagine Charlie Sheen speaking, and it's him. Yeah.
You guys seen these trailers for Renfield?
Yep.
Yeah, it looked
looked like a movie.
Very nice, cute.
Yeah, that one might be all right. And then we got Fast X, Fast 10.
Oh, yes. Those are kind of like Mission Impossible in that, except for I probably wouldn't even watch it like the first time, but like I'm really happy for them. It's like,
yeah.
I just sometimes I feel really happy for these movies that are $1 billion movies. That's great. But
I saw that they're going to add Brie Larson, which seems like weird.
People clamoring.
Yeah.
The audience demanded it.
It doesn't seem like the right franchise for her.
Yeah.
Feminist. Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll show up and be like, get these Brazilian girls in thongs out of here. I'm a tough girl who's going to blow up the world unless you drive a car fast enough.
Well, man, maybe she's the bad guy.
Well, yeah, that's usually how they introduce them. They come in as the bad guy, then they're friends.
Yeah.
Afterwards. But I actually think the peak of Fast and the Furious was from 5 to 7. And it's kind of been downhill from there. 8 was just okay, and then 9 was like it's incomprehensible, and Hobbs and Shaw as well.
Oh yeah, the Hobbs and Shaw. When are we getting a sequel to that spin-off series?
They actually recast them. They're gonna get Jeremy Irons and Marlon Wayans to play Hobbs and Shaw.
Speaking of Marlon Wayans, there's another Spider-Verse movie.
Is he in that?
No, I don't think so. It's just it's got black people though.
Yeah, Spider-Man is a black franchise. It's a historically
black people.
Black animated people. Enter the Spider.
Did you like the first one?
I thought it was cool. It's one of those things where it's like I thought it was pretty cool, but I don't care about it. Like, yeah. So I'm not like excited for this next one, but I'd go see it.
I'm just worried, like, how are they going to follow it up? Because like that was what made it cool. Was it was so like unique and one off, and now they're just going to do the same thing but bigger
and cheaper.
Yeah. And then I guess I'm just going to keep rattling these off so we don't go too long here. But we got Guardians 3. There's more Guardians. There's more story to tell in that universe.
They're just going to keep them coming.
Yeah.
I'll watch it when it comes on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I probably won't. I don't think I've ever watched a full Guardians.
I never have either, but I just I can't. It hurts me too much. So I take it personally.
I mean, I like Chris Pratt though because he's a Christian.
Yeah, so maybe we should support it. Then isn't James Gunn a pedophile?
Support Christians at the box office.
James Gunn's a pedophile?
I thought he was.
Didn't he just make a bad joke?
I'm talking about a Hollywood director. This is a professional.
Yeah, I have a mind to talk to Roman Coppola about this.
Roman Polanski.
And Roman
whatever his name. And Coppola.
Yeah.
Okay, then we got Indiana Jones, which I guess they're putting.
Is that coming out next year?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like they recast it as a black lady?
No, they put Phoebe Waller or whatever, a white, I think, English lady.
Okay.
I I don't think she's like necessarily the successor to Indiana Jones, but she's in the movie.
Is Shia LaBeouf going to be in it?
Hopefully.
Oh no! Whatever happened to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, they just got rid of him. He'll be like, my estranged supposed son? Well, he died in the war. Korea. Or whatever war they were in.
Indiana Jones still around? And it's like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's in it. He's going to be in it.
Oh my gosh. It's like catching up to real time. We're going to have Indiana Jones 6 like in 2012.
It'll be in the 80s when Indiana Jones came out.
Indiana Jones in the 80s when Raiders of the Lost Ark comes out, and he's going to be like at the movie premiere and be like, this is the movie about my life. And it's going to be like this meta thing. Yeah.
Isn't Harrison Ford like way older than Sean Connery was in those original ones?
Oh yeah, probably. Sean Connery, like, you like go back. Sean Connery was actually 29 when he filmed that.
Yeah. Okay, then we got The Black Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
There's no way that can be good, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the race.
Wow. I can't believe you just said that, but okay.
I'm surprised they called it The Black Little Mermaid.
Yeah, same.
Can't believe that's the official title.
It's because they want to use the same kind of hype associated with BLM.
I'm shocked they haven't done that. That should be the poster. Yeah.
So, did you know they kind of changed it? So, like, the inciting incident in the movie is that King Triton actually...
Content censored. Full uncensored episode available upon request.
This I might have to put behind a paywall.
Oh man, I didn't say anything that it's like in real life. I'm just saying that's the actual movie.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll cut it out. I'll kind of cut it out and create suspense. Maybe I'll drive traffic to
all right,
like a website or something.
Just do a private link.
Yeah, I guess there's another Ant-Man movie.
Oh yeah. The Ant-Man movies, I mean, I think that was actually the last Marvel movie I saw in the theater was like the first one of that, which is like, I don't know, 10 years old now or something. And I thought it was great, loved it, thought it was like a cool little... But then I feel like the one thing that people at least would like about an Ant-Man movie is tiny people running around in the real world with giant objects. That seems fun.
Yeah.
Right.
They decided to be like, well, what if he just like goes into another world where
everyone's tiny? Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it, guys. And I'm just
this one seems like it's supposed to be more Fantastic Voyage, but it's also like, like I guess they will probably ruin it because it seems like they go tiny mode for most of the movie, but then everybody's tiny, I guess.
So then it's just like normal sized people again.
Yeah.
You guys ever see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Classic.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I always wanted to ride an ant.
Yeah.
From that movie.
And I don't mean my uncle's wife.
Whoa.
But she's a lovely lady, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a movie about the Flash, I guess.
Is that actually coming out? They're releasing the movie about the guy who kidnapped that lady in Canada or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's coming out, even though he keeps kidnapping 12-year-olds.
And Batman's in it.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton, Batman is in it.
Yeah.
The old Batman. It's yeah. This is the Flash. I mean, like his power is he goes really fast.
Yeah.
And that's about it, huh?
His power is that he abducts kids.
Yeah.
Well, because you can do that when you're really fast.
You're really
his fast. What's the first thing you do? Start abducting children.
His power is sending DMs on Instagram to minors.
Okay, there's my last one, then I'll wrap it up. And this is gonna be my number one anticipated movie of the year, but it's a Magic Mike sequel.
What's the full name of the movie?
Magic Mike's Last Dance? An urban comedy drama film.
Yeah, because they had like XXL, right?
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, this is part 3 of the Magic Mike trilogy. Someone is still paying to watch these films. Yeah.
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Yeah.
I think we know who.
I think we know who's watching these.
Yeah.
I actually heard that Magic Mike's Last Dance is going to be a real tearjerker.
Oh.
Not because of the storyline, but actually the choreography is so intense, and the dancers are losing weight.
Oh.
Hold on, excuse me, I'm getting emotional. They're losing weight at an alarming rate.
Yeah, really fast.
And they're calling it.
The kind of, you could say that they've sort of lost their magic, or they're losing it. Yeah.
Wait, finish this joke.
I can't talk. They're calling it the Magic Mike Meltdown. The dumbest thing I've ever read.
Wait, you're actually
Is
just
that actually a
that?
thing that you've read?
Hold on. I can't wait to see it, but I'll definitely bring a bucket of water to throw on them in case they start to overheat.
I'm going to bring a box of tissues because I know I'll be needing that whole box to dry my tears.
Yeah, that was generated by ChatGPT on the fly.
What did you ask it?
I said, write a funny podcast comment about the movie Magic Mike's Last Dance and make up details about it.
It's amazing how spot on it was, too. It really
Bring a
so
bucket
cool.
of water.
Magic Mike.
Okay, that's it.
right.
That's 2023, guys.
All right. I wanted. Well, we don't have to talk about this. I wanted to mention a movie I did not want to watch, which was called Air, by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Air Jordan, I thought.
Is it Air Jordan? I don't know, or maybe just it's about Air Jordan.
Well, it's just Air. Yeah.
Okay. So that looked like the most boringest film ever created.
Wait, no, it was at one time. It was called Air Jordan. I think they're shortening it to Air.
Okay. Movie about shoe company executives trying to make a contract with Michael Jordan and his family, or something. And it just looked like the worst thing I had ever seen.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
Ben Affleck playing Phil Knight,
and Matt Damon as Michael Jordan.
Oh, you guys, you're not going to believe this. Marlon Wayans really is in this movie.
Which one?
In Air.
Oh!
Now we got to see it. Did they get Jeremy Irons back?
Jeremy Irons as Evil Wizard. Marlon Wayans as a humorous bard.
All right, guys, that's it. That's 2023. It's going to be a great year. I actually hope something comes along that is not on our list, because there's a couple I'm genuinely excited for, but not that excited.
I'm actually really worried about 2023 now. After going through that, I'm genuinely concerned. So
yeah, hopefully something comes from out of nowhere that I like. I want to like movies, but most of the time I feel like I can't.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it'll be Black Robe.
Black Robe. Yeah, everyone go check out Black Robe.
Black Robe 2 was also not bad.
Black Robe's Last Dance.
Mm-hmm.
Bring a bucket of water.
Oh, do we get to see this thing here? Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna end it here. Call it a night.
Love you.
Thanks,
all.
everyone.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Do. Welcome to the Granite Mountain Movie Club, where there's mountains and movies and everybody's having fun.